These are the two tablets I use when I want to get away from tablets. This is the Kindle Scribe Colorsoft and this is the reMarkable Paper Pro Move. They both have colour screens, they both connect to the internet, and they both let me read, write, annotate documents and organise my work. They even both have AI features. So calling them single-purpose tools might seem like a contradiction, but I think they reveal what single purpose really means. It doesn't mean a device can only perform one function. It means the device has one clear reason to exist. The difference between these two isn't simply what each can technically do, it's what each asks me to do first. The Kindle Scribe Colorsoft feels like a reading room with a notebook within it. The reMarkable Paper Pro Move feels like a portable writing desk. One begins with something I want to absorb, and then the other begins with something I want to express. Two different invitations, but the same underlying philosophy. Protect the kind of attention I picked the device up for. Hey friends, thanks for tapping play. I really do appreciate that. This is the Weekly Spark, where each week I have a little think and talk about something a little bit more deeply. Some might even say philosophically. And this week I'm talking about so-called single-purpose devices. We normally judge technology by addition. More applications, more integrations, more processing power, more things a device can potentially do. If one tablet offers 50 features and another offers 5, well, the first appears to provide better value. But that calculation leaves something out. Every feature in a modern tablet is a tax on your attention. Now, some taxes are worth paying when I need to do some research, answer messages, yes, edit a video, or move between several different kinds of work. The versatility of an iPad is pretty much extraordinary, but every additional possibility also creates another potential exit. Every notification asks a question. Every app icon makes an offer. Even when you don't tap the notification, you still have to decide whether or not to tap it. That's the attention tax. It isn't only the distraction you follow, it's the tiny decision required for you to remain where you are. Now, of course, you can disable notifications, you can use focus modes, you can remove distracting apps and even reorganize the home screen, and all of that does help. But focus on a multi-purpose device remains something that you have to configure and indeed maintain. Now, the Kindle Scribe Colorsoft and Paper Pro Move make a different bargain. They aren't lacking in capability by no means, but most of their capabilities point in roughly the same direction. The Kindle Scribe Colorsoft is clearly the larger of the two devices. Its 11-inch display gives books, illustrated material and full-size documents just room to breathe. And that size affects the way that I approach it. When I open the Scribe, the first invitation is to read. But calling that consumption would undersell what the device allows. Reading can be an extremely active process. I can underline something, highlight it in colour, write directly around the text using active canvas, or open a notebook when an idea grows beyond the page. And the pen becomes part of the reading experience. It allows someone else's thoughts to create a thought of my own, and I can write that down. And that's why I kind of think of the Scribe as a reading room with a notebook within it. The room begins with an author, a book or a document, but I'm not expected to remain passive. Even the colour supports that purpose. This isn't a bright, saturated colour of an OLED tablet designed for games and videos. It's softer and more restrained. Colour appears in covers, illustrations, annotations and highlights, and it helps me distinguish and remember things without turning the screen into entertainment. And the premium pen never needs charging, so there's really very little friction between reading something and then responding to it. And although the Scribe contains a Kindle Store, notebook tools and cloud integrations, it doesn't contain the usual world of social apps and constant notifications just waiting behind the page. I can open the book and remain inside the book. That's the boundary that it creates. Now, the Paper Pro creates a different kind of boundary. It's obviously much smaller. It's a narrow 7.3-inch device weighing around 230 grams. And that smaller format changes its first invitation. The move gives a new idea somewhere to land. I can carry it into a meeting. I can take it with me anywhere during the day and just pick it up when I've got a half-formed thought that isn't quite ready for my iPad and a keyboard. Its center of gravity is the blank page. That doesn't mean that it can't read. You can import EPUBs and open PDFs and annotate those documents in color. And the Kindle Scribe, of course, you can create substantial handwritten notebooks. These aren't rigid divisions, they're just those centers of gravity. The Kindle naturally pulls me towards reading and then responding, whereas the Move naturally pulls me towards writing and then developing. Now, the Paper Pro Move's color is slightly different to the way that the Kindle Scribe works, but they both serve a similar restrained purpose. It helps distinguish annotations, organize information, and add structure to the handwritten pages. The marker on the Move does need power, unlike the Kindle's premium pen, but it charges whenever it's magnetically attached to the device. So in normal use, that difference almost disappears. What matters more is that the Move is ready to become a notebook before it tries to become anything else. There's no app store, there's no open web browser sitting beneath the page. Now, its limitation isn't total disconnection, it's a deliberately narrower field of possibility, and that's why it feels less like just a small tablet and more like a writing desk that I can carry with me. The power of both devices comes partly from the word no. No social media feed, no collection of entertainment apps, no inbox filling the screen while I'm trying to read or write, no constant invitation to abandon one mental context and enter another. By saying no to most of the digital world, these devices can say yes to the activity in front of me. But neither device is completely simple. The Kindle Scribe Colorsoft does include the Kindle Store, cloud connections, and AI-powered notebook search. The Paper Pro connects to desktop and mobile applications, cloud storage services, and through reMarkable Connect, AI-assisted conversion summaries and suggested next steps and search and whatnot. Now, one of you out there on a previous video expressed a concern about this directly. You said, I don't want AI in e-ink. It's supposed to be a place for quiet thinking. And that comment matters because both of these devices now include AI. But perhaps the most important question isn't simply whether AI exists on the device. The question is what kind of relationship it creates. Does the AI help me find a note, understand something, and then leave? Is it a tool I deliberately summon, or another system continually competing for my attention? Now, at the moment, the AI features on these devices remain largely subordinate to reading and writing. They aren't social feeds and they don't constantly interrupt the page. They wait to be requested. Now, their screens are slower and more restrained than conventional tablets, and on a specification sheet, that might look like a weakness. But in use, it establishes a very different tempo. A conventional tablet encourages touching and swiping and switching and exploring. An e-ink page mostly asks you to remain where you are. In a world driven by algorithms and engagement, a screen that stays silent is a meaningful design choice. But not every limitation is automatically good. Another viewer who watched a previous video described the locked-in trap of the Amazon ecosystem as infuriating, and that reveals an important distinction. A boundary you choose can protect your attention. A boundary imposed by a company may simply protect its business model. The Kindle provides direct access to an enormous bookshop, and that convenience is a major part of its appeal, but it also draws you more deeply into Amazon's world. The reMarkable is not some completely independent analog island either. It's got its own cloud services, a few applications, integrations, and that Connect subscription. So the question isn't simply, does this tool do less? The better question is, whose purpose does this limitation serve? Does the boundary protect the work I came to do, or does it primarily make it harder for me to leave the ecosystem? So-called single-purpose tools aren't valuable because they're restricted. They're valuable when their restrictions preserve our agency. None of this means everyone needs two expensive e-ink devices. A paper notebook creates an extremely strong boundary for a fraction of the price. If focus mode on an iPad works perfectly well for you, well, that's just brilliant. The value of a specialized device appears only when you use the boundary it provides. And for me, these two devices offer different first invitations. The Kindle Scribe Colorsoft asks, what do you want to read more deeply? The Paper Pro Move asks, what do you need to capture before it disappears? All right, I'd love to know, what's the tool in your life that you value precisely because of what it refuses to do? Please do let me know in the comments. All right, I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's made you think. And if it has, would you please consider liking, subscribing, and all that good stuff? I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so it'd be awesome if you could just tap that button if you're on YouTube. It's just down there below. Just give it a tap. And if you do want to support the channel even further, you can scan the QR code on screen there, or you can use the link in the description and go ahead and buy me a digital coffee. That would be very much appreciated. I'm Mark from the Weekly Spark, and I'll see you guys in the next one.